Talk to me about tax policy in the U.S. If we do get a significant tax change, yes, either by the end of this year or into the first quarter of 2018, does that help significantly with startups?
It really does. It's one of the areas that I've been focused on for 15 years and very unsuccessful. I am very optimistic that tax policy will happen this year. For a startup company to compete on a global basis with a tax policy that was designed before Microsoft went public makes no sense at all. So I think one of the key elements for startups is really an effective corporate tax system that encourages investments, getting rid of the red tape, etc. But the question you're asking me is that our current rate of startups, we only did about 95 companies public on the NASDAQ last year and 35 on the New York Stock Exchange. We have to increase that 3 to 5-fold to create 25 to 30 million jobs over this next decade, which I think is very doable, but not without a change in plan. This is what will shock you. Macron in France, and he's a very good friend, is leading all of Europe in startups. And Tom, when we said that 3 years ago, just like teasing you about crickets, and I said France would become the startup nation in Europe, everybody laughed. Yeah. They boo-plased Germany and the UK. They are doing more startups year over year, yeah, and more venture capital investment than any of their counterparts.
But, John, it's been the case for quite some time. I follow, France very closely. The problem is that they don't scale up. So you have the Ubers, yes, you have the Airbnbs coming out of the U.S. I think the only kind of very big company that listed was Criteo in France. So will that change?
I think it will change, and this is where the government, they've got to have the courage to do the change in labor policies they are doing. They have to look at how they make some tough decisions in terms of tax policy as well. I think this government will do that. They clearly get where it's going. Digital France, I think, is the future. Watch what Modi's doing in India. He's using the same playbook. His economy, Tom, I think they said it was going to grow 10% per year for the next decade, in large part of how he's treating startups and the digital plan. The U.S. could learn from both countries.